Mike's Daily Podcast.
FF episode 1887, 1887. It's Mike Matthews. The show is called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I am the host, Mike Matthews at Cafe Anyway, and this is a show where I say things that help you with your life and make you sing, maybe. I don't know. Some people have stopped by recently, including my lovely lady friend. She's so beautiful to see. And she had some interesting insight that she brought during the show, the past
Mike's Daily Podcast.
couple shows. So, I'm Mike Matthews here at Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro,
Mike's
Valleyton,
Daily
the last place on earth.
Podcast.
We're going to talk about communication.
Yeah!
Or the lack thereof. What we have here is a supreme lack of a foobar of communication. What I've discovered within the past 24 hours is some people decide that they are not going to talk. They're going to block your texts and your emails and your phone calls. Even though you have spent lots and lots and lots of time, I don't know, training this person, giving this person a push in their career, trying to help them, and suddenly they just shut you down. That's called not, I guess, not reciprocating. I guess it's not caring. In my career, in my working life, other than radio, whatever I've done in life, burning bridges is something I have never done. I think there was one time I told the boss I got to quit. I don't like, because it was I worked at a little fruit stand. A fruit stand is what it was in Oxnard. In fact, the area where I worked, I would see parts of it in Bridesmaids with Kristen Wiig and John Hamm.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And Maya Rudolph. Remember that movie? And it was supposed to take place in Minnesota, but they shot it all in Oxnard. And it's funny because I'm seeing all the farm fields. This fruit stand was in the middle of a farm field. And I'm like, I'm watching the movie going, oh my gosh, I worked right there. There was the fruit stand. Okay. In the scene where she meets that cop and they fall in love and all that. Okay. So the fruit stand story. At the end of the day, somebody miscalculated how much money was taken in, and somebody accused me of stealing money, which I had not done, of course. I guess somebody made a mistake in calculating, and they later found out that someone had made a mistake calculating, and they apologized to me, but I didn't like that place. I didn't like the stress. It was dirty. It was Basil. Basil wouldn't have liked it either. Basil the boxer. And so I said goodbye, and the guy said to me, because he knew I was good and I was reliable, and he goes, "Are you sure you want to go? I'm really sorry about this. No hard feelings." And as he gave me the check, I could see that the reason why there was a tear running down his face was because he had just taken all the money out of his bank account. There was nothing left. The guy, I'm sure, wouldn't have given me a paycheck had I continued to work there, because he didn't pay. I think he didn't pay anybody. I don't know. He's sleazy. But that was eons ago, so who knows what became of that guy. I know that stand is gone. I think it just fell and collapsed upon itself. But that's the story of communication. So I went over and communicated to him and said, I've got to go. I don't like being accused of something I didn't do. Plus, I don't like I'm just not into this job. Versus in today's world, where you can avoid phone calls, avoid emails, avoid texts by simply unplugging everything and not returning any messages. That's the world we live in. But it is very childish, very cowardly. And I'll admit, I've ghosted people too. I ghosted, well, not in my job, not in my career, but in relationships. There was a relationship right after my marriage ended. I met someone online, big mistake, and she let's just say she went crazier, and the relationship was getting more and more toxic. And I tried to break it off with her, and she said no. And I just knew the only way to end it was to just cut off all communication. To which she still somehow was able to message me on Facebook and text me until I could figure out how to block her on all those things. And said all these things that I unfortunately read. And I went, okay, all right. She then got married like 4 months later to a guy who's also bald. The moral of the story is communication. We should communicate. And I am not proud of how I ended that. Although I did try to communicate with her and it didn't go well. Okay. So here's a thought. Talk. Say something. What's on your mind? Say something. I'm giving up on you. Say something. Get it off your chest. And yes, communication can lead to more problems, but we can't solve problems unless we communicate. This whole Chinese trade war thing, back and forth. Now China's warning the U.S. and as long as we stay in talks with them, I'm fine. But if I hear that all talks have ceased, there are issues. There's I guess a negotiation going on back and forth. Eddie Money, I don't know if you've heard this story, not to change topics. He has been diagnosed with cancer, and it's the type of cancer that it's esophageal cancer. Lots of celebrities have passed away because of this. Richard Dalton from Family Feud. The guy from it was interesting. A lot of people from like the showbiz era days of the 70s and 80s died of this as well. I don't know if it's from like drinking a lot or what, but unfortunately Eddie Money has it and it's stage 4. And he said he's in God's hands. We wish him all the best. I saw him in concert in Santa Barbara back in the 80s. In the height of his career when he made that huge comeback with Take Me Home Tonight. And I won't hold back. Was it Endless Lies? And I Want to Go Back. That's right. He had Walk on Water. And I Can See the Love in Your Eyes. Oh. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton. I once met a guy who produced and co-wrote one of his songs, and I guess he was pretty good friends, Monty Byram. He was in a band called Big House, and he was a big guy, and he was an awesome guy. I met him a couple of times, and Monty told me, I just talked to Eddie Money, and he said, I gotta go back to rehab. I'm doing cocaine again. So Eddie's had his devils to deal with, and we wish him all the best. 2 Tickets to Paradise, of course. His 70s stuff was the best, wasn't it? 70s with the shaking, And you probably can think of a couple other ones that I can't at the moment because I'm doing a podcast here. And I have one other bit of news, and that is Ewan McGregor is going to reprise the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi for Disney Plus. It's going to be on a show on that. I guess Disney Plus is probably going to be big because it's going to have all the Avengers crap on it and all the spin-offs. How much of that, though, is really going to be good? Or is it just going to taint the name, the brand of like Marvel and Star Wars and Lucasfilms and all that? How much of it because to me, that Attack of the Clones TV series with it was cool computer graphics or whatever, CGI, but I just couldn't get into it. I think that's what really put me off of Star Wars crap. I'm like, yeah, all right, another laser, another lightsaber, another odd-looking robot thing, and another bearded guy in a robe. Got it. That's just me, and I'm cranky today. Escape rooms. What? The podcast picture today is of this guy right here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. I'll cut you. Oh, boy, I'm cranky.
Thank you, Brewmaster. Yes, I'm a bit cranky today. Escape rooms are ridiculous. I've never been in one. I did laser tag, but escape rooms are all the rage. People want to get the hell out of some place that they're stuck in. Isn't that life? We go somewhere and then we want to get the hell out. We go to a concert, we want to get out, but we can't. Too many cars. Can't get out of there. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Where's your lovely lady friend?
She's not on today's show.
Oh, that's too bad, Mike Matthews.
Yeah. Yep. You can see the picture of the Brewmaster at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, why do you think it is that you don't like escape rooms? I guess I don't like the fad stuff anymore. You get to my age and you've done it all no, I haven't done it all, but I mean, it feels like it. And then you get the stupid craze like an escape room that you're going to pay, what, $50 to do? Just to be in a room with a bunch of idiots and you got to find the clues and you get out. I don't get it. But that's me. If you want it to be at an escape room, go into an elevator in a building that's about to collapse. Hey, it's Mike Matthews. Thank you for listening to this show. And when I say thank you, I don't mean some other thing. I'm not trying to do some kind of subtle, like, passive-aggressive thing. I'm saying thank you for listening. And tell me what you think. 336-MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews Daily. And what this podcast has been daily for a couple of days. It's been awesome. And Basil the Boxer. You know, the older he gets, the more presents he leaves me. And we'll just leave it at that. But yes, communication. Say what's on your mind. Say what you want to say and let the words come out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. That's all I'm saying is get it out into the open. And eat less carbs. That's my tip to you today. Don't eat the carbs. Don't eat the rice. I know rice is delicious. A little bit of rice now and then is good, but don't. It's starch. People eat too much of it. People eat too much pasta. People eat too much mac and cheese. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest culprit. And I had some Spätzle Käse Spätzle, something like that. It's German pasta, basically. The Germans are very uncreative with the pasta. My mom, being German, never actually made it for me, so I didn't know what it was till I was older. But yeah, it's this weird doughy stuff, pasta-y stuff. And now they add cheese to it, and it's a big thing. But it's a fattening thing. No, eat more like lettuce stuff. I am just amazed when you go to Costco now. They got this thing called Power Greens. You see these all over the place now, all at supermarkets everywhere. Well, they'll mix kale, arugula, spinach, and what's the other thing? Some other leafy, such a good thing for you. Collard green, something. And it's so good for you. And you can throw it there. You want to eat it, of course. Keep it in the bag. Keep it fresh. Eat it fast. Don't let it sit there and wilt and become disgusting. And this green ooze comes everywhere, all over your... it's all over that bag. Inside of there is what I'm saying. It's not good. So, eat it fast. Eat it fresh, if you can. And have that... And then... Get that stuff, load your plate up with that. And then, I'm not the thinnest, I'm not thin. I'm not incredibly obese, but I am not within my BMI parameters. I'm not happy about that. But who can get into their BMI parameters? It's hard when you're over 6 feet. You can't do it. They make it too difficult for you. I've heard nutritionists say this to me, and health professionals say, yeah, the goals that the BMI, the body mass index that they set are just, they're impossible. They always depress you, always bring you down. And I think in the end, it's probably unhealthy BMIs. If you're trying to push yourself to be too thin, they want me to be under 200 pounds. And I'm like, no, there's no way. One leg is heavy. 50 pounds, at least. So, But it's good to keep in perspective, your food. Have the healthy stuff first. The greens. The greens are so good for you. And yes, grains are good for you, but I'm saying focus on the stuff that the healthy stuff. The greens, you get nutrients, you get so much from those. And then a little bit of meat, of something deliciously like chicken or steak or something, or some kind of meat thing that you like. Or if you're not into meat, if you're a vegetarian, something more the unhealthy route, the crazy pasta stuff, a little bit of that. But you want to always max out on the greens. And when I say max out, I mean don't max out on it. But, err on the side of greens is what I'm saying. Because we don't. In today's society, what's pushed on us all the time? Breads, doughs, pizza, cheese, grease, fats, chocolates, creme this, creme de la that, ice cream this, and the fat and milk and everything, and cheese. And mayonnaise, butter. We got to remember that's the bad stuff. That's the stuff that will clog up the arteries, give you heart attacks, give you strokes. Back away from that. Only a little bit of that. And you want the bulk of it to be delicious greens that you've washed, that don't have salmonella, of course. Wow, what a helpful show this was today, huh? Oh, God. Oh, one of the best examples of thank you is Kevin and Bean. Kevin and Bean is this morning show that's been in Pasadena, Los Angeles for decades now. I think they're the longest running morning show duo on the radio of all time. They're on K-Rock in LA. That station really launched alternative rock, modern rock, however you call it, your Smashing Pumpkins, your Foo Fighters, your Depeche Modes, The Cure, all of that, and all the ilk that came after that, your Panic at the Discos. And that music, what's the one they're playing all the time now? Oh, Vampire Weekend gets a lot of airplay now. That was inspired from all that stuff. Anyway, Kevin and Bean, Cafe Anyway, got started on that state, or really got popular on that station, and they're still on, even though the two guys aren't in the same room anymore. One of them years ago moved up to like Washington, and he communicates to his co-host via a camera, video cam, and they've got his mic wired, and it's done like a remote from a remote spot, and it sounds like he's right there next to the guy. It's amazing. But that's the magic of radio nowadays. You don't have to be in the same room. And they really perfected that technology. Cafe Anyway. They used to do these Kevin and Bean Christmas shows, or Christmas Weenie Roast or something. And they do these special music mix tapes that they'd sell, and the money would go to charity. And they'd put these funny little goofy things in there. And one of them was Kevin or Bean, one of them ran into Kenny G and started recording and said, "Hey, Kenny G, did you know that our album sold more albums than your album?" And all Kenny G says is, "Thank you." So maybe that's what thank you means. Thank you. Like, get away from me. Go away. Enough of you. But communication, that's what it's all about. And Kenny G. Okay, next show, it'll be the wonderful John Deere the engineer. No, wait. He was on this show. That's right, Mike. I was right here. Are you ignoring me? Escape rooms. That's right. No, next show, it'll be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. No show for Sunday. No Super Secret Sunday show. And probably no Monday show. But I'll probably try and bring you a new one as soon as I can. I'll try.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, and don't forget that Sunday mornings I do that awesome music show on KKDV. Go to kkdv.com to hear it. Or if you're in the Contra Costa County area, in the Bay Area, go to 92.1 FM and you'll hear my shoe. That's from 6 a.m. to noon, 6 a.m. to noon, Sundays on 92.1 FM, KKDV or kkdv.com. And of course, don't forget the website, kkdv.com, or wait a minute. No, I meant to say MikesDailyPodcast.com.